Good morning. How many people in here have worked at a fast food restaurant as a teenager? Just raise your hand. Anybody still working at that fast food restaurant? Okay. I worked at the world-famous Popeye's Fried Chicken down in New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, I wasn't good enough to work with the chicken. I worked in a special section of Popeye's that sold hot dogs and meat pies. Now, I'm going to take you back in time and introduce you to some of my coworkers and some of the fun experiences I had working at Popeye's. Now, my first coworker was Sandy. Sandy was my cashier, and she was a woman in her late to mid-50s, very slender, a heavy smoker. She had that raspy voice, but was very cheery. And the thing that made Sammy unique is that she had a glass eye. So she'd be at the cash register, and customers would come up to wait on it. The customer here, a customer there, and Sammy's right eye would float slightly to the right. So when she'd say, "May I help you?" both customers would answer at the same time. This happened about 20 times a day. Then I was standing there cashier. And my next coworker was John. Now John had direct access to the public. And John was a tall, slender guy, athletic in his early 20s. And what made John different is he had a patch on one of his eyes. So normal conversation, people would ask, "Hey John, what happened to your eye?" And he'd say, "I had it taken out. Would you like to see?" And before they could respond, he'd rip open his eye patch and show them his open eye socket. That didn't increase our meat pie sales. Now I'm going to introduce you to our fry cook, Leaf. Does anybody remember Leaf Garrett? Okay, if you don't, Leaf Garrett was this late 70s, early 80s teenage superstar. And he had too much hair, blonde wavy hair, and big blue eyes. Well, our fry cook looked like Leaf Garrett. But our fry cook had a little bit of a problem. Think of this combination. Fry cook, hot searing grease, and marijuana. Not a good combination. So I'm watching Leaf cook up the meat pies, and one of the things you got to do is you got to keep your front grill clean, right? So he's scraping the grill out, and I'm watching him. And as I'm watching him, I watch his hand slide into the hot searing grease. He pulls it out, he looks at me, and he looks at his hand, and he goes, "Wow, that's gonna hurt later." And it did. Then you come to me. I earned a nickname. My nickname was Wiener. Now let me explain to you how I earned that nickname. One of my duties at the end of my shift was to clean the hot dogs off the hot dog roll. And you know what I'm talking about, those rollers that roll all day long, but at the end of the day they're about 1,000 degrees. So here I am pulling these hot dogs off the roll, and I'm having a problem with one of the hot dogs, and I can't get it to come off the roller. So I'm really yanking it, and as I do, I clip the front of the hot dog, it flies in the air, and I look to see where it went, and as it did, it comes down my forehead. I'm like, ah! So I start slapping on my forehead, trying to get the hot dog to come off, and it won't come off. So I'm scraping, and I find it, and it's still, and I yank, and as I yank, I pull away hot, searing flesh. I drop it to the ground, and I look up, and all my coworkers are staring at me. And Lee says, "Wow, it was like that hot dog actually attached you." I didn't know what to do. Dial 911, call for help, or school busted on you. So those are my coworkers. Now there are a lot of things that I did as a teenager that I would never do as an adult. Now we need to step away from the moral and ethical issues. I ate a lot of unauthorized hot dogs and meat pies. And the people in the back, they ate a lot of unauthorized chicken. Where they were tired of eating the chicken, we were tired of eating the hot dogs. So what they would do is they would sneak chicken up front for us to eat. The way they would do this is they would stick it in their pants, come up front, and pull it out of their pants. They had a problem with that. As a teenager, I had no problem with that at all. I mean, I chowed down like it was a buffet. Now, I have another memory that really has just burned and resonated in my head. We had cases of chicken that were disappearing at Popeyes. It's a big asset. at Popeyes. So who might be a logical suspect if cases of chicken are disappearing? You don't have to be part of CSI. The fry cook. He was stealing chicken. They actually set up a sting operation and caught him red-handed. Now, let me explain to you what he was doing. He would go in his garbage run and he would take cases of chicken, stick it in the garbage bag, and then he'd go out in the parking lot and the cops would be waiting and they'd whisk off and go sell his chicken. But this is what I remember, okay? They handcuffed him and they're escorting him down the mall. But they didn't let the man take off a single stitch of his Popeyes uniform. So he's handcuffed, and he's being escorted down the mall. He has this bright orange Popeyes shirt on, his Popeyes pants on. He still has his little paper hat on, and he's handcuffed. And you hear people in the mall say, well, what did he do? Steal some chicken? Now, Popeyes has left me with a lot of fond memories, including a scar for life. And that, my friends, concludes Wiener Head, a true story.